Can you guys hear me at the back?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, what have I just done?
An introduction.
I've just asked the worst question ever a speaker could ask. Thanks for playing along and giving me a heads up that you can hear me. But so often, I've heard speakers going on the stage, there are like hundreds of people in the audience, thousands at times. They paid to be there. And then the speaker goes, does the mic work? Or can you hear me at the back? Or even like thanking the MC and totally forgetting about the audience. What other kind of, I don't know, things, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Do you see, like, I can't even get my words out today. What else have you heard? Anything weird you have people seen on stage when they open the talk? Is it only me that I'm bitching about everyone?
An awkward, nervous joke. Is that what you're trying to make?
People making an awkward, nervous joke, yes. What else?
Admitting you're terrified.
Yes, people saying I'm really nervous, so you don't like that?
No, I think it's also you're sort of you're priming the audience to like be sympathetic.
Interesting.
And so if you
Yeah.
do well, you're not going to hear it.
Interesting.
You're going to thinking that was just a sympathy clap.
Yeah.
A sympathy compliment.
There are like a million different things. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a structure. We always teach people. And then we're going to work, it's a 7-step structure. And then we're going to work on some elements of it. Like I'm going to pick out 2 elements and then we're going to do a little exercise. What I find so interesting is that even people who sometimes start with, you know, can you hear me at the back? They can even after that recover, you know, from a really bad opening. So that's what I want you to know. If you ever screw up the opening of one of your talks, there is hope. Now, what we believe is, for any, who speaks already on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis? Who wants to speak? Who wants to make shitloads of money from speaking? Some of you, perfect. Now, you know, we believe all it takes is have at least one solid talk. You know, obviously, yes, be really good as well, but having a really, really good talk is really, really important. And then in addition to that, the rest has to fall into place as well, you know, building a really solid speaker profile and all that kind of stuff. So here's the structure. Whenever, like this whole structure, we run this training called Creating Your Signature Talk, and it's 2 days long. So I'm going to give you like a little condensed version of it. But today I have picked out the opening and the credibility bit, because I feel they're so crucial to really help you to connect with the audience and find a way to inspire them, right? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you some openings, and I might even go to the back because there's some writing on it. And I think there are 4 different ones, and I changed them in case anyone who has been to the training. So I want you to guess. I have a little read, and I want you to guess. No worries, good to meet you. Who would you think this is? Like, they're all famous people.
No.
It's a woman.
Oh, that would have been helpful.
Okay, there was a woman. So this one is Deborah Meaden. This one? Who said that? Ah, yeah, she knew. So this was Steve Jobs, and just imagine, right, silence. He walks on stage, and those are his first few words. This is a guy. Have a guess who that would be?
Robin Williams?
That would have been a good guess. I think I picked kind of mostly entrepreneurs. There was Elon Musk when he did one of the commencement speeches. And last one, a famous woman. Anyone? Who?
No, you said.
Someone said something and I think that was right.
Oprah.
Yes, Oprah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, now you do. So have a little think, like what do they all have in common? Maybe nothing? Do they?
The impact they're going to have.
Yes. So here she's priming the audience. You know, there are different ways of doing it. Like, obviously, because what I want you to think of your own opening already, because we're going to practice this in a minute. You know, there are a number of different things, like having like a disruptor, asking a question, you know, making a joke. Like obviously when Elon Musk said that, everyone was laughing, right? You have to see it in context. This one, for example, is actually a really bland opening, but when Steve Jobs said that, what happened to the audience? They just go crazy, you know, because he has primed them for months before he even gets there. So he doesn't need to do a big hype in his openings because they do that with their marketing, right? But do we have any Steve Jobs or Oprahs or Deborah Meadens in the room? We do. I always say, you know, if you're not Oprah yet, you have to work a lot harder on a really solid opening, you know. And here's what I'd love you to do. I want you to, just for a minute, have a little think. Like maybe it's a question you would start with. Maybe it's a disruptor. Like what was yours, Andrew, actually? Could you share yours quickly? About the teenage.
Oh, yeah. You know that in the U.S. today,
You have to speak up a bit, I think.
in the U.S. today, 3,000 teenagers a week attempt suicide.
Perfect.
That's 9/11 each week.
So do you see, like, whatever follows with that, as the audience, you're like, shit, I didn't even know that, you know, and that makes you think. And I think, Marjolaine, I think yours was really amazing as well.
It was a bit longer though, it was the story and Rockwell.
Okay, so you start with the story. Say the first two sentences. Can you stand up so we can hear?
It was a beautiful day in London. It was a Saturday, it was early in the morning, the sky was blue. We were in Clerkenwell and no one's even heard a siren yet.
Perfect. So it's very descriptive, you know what you said before, right? It's I think it was you, it's the story way. So either like a big fact or something disruptive. I want you to have a think for a minute. And then what I want you to do with the partner, I just want you to do your opening with one other person. I'm going to swap you up, so whoever was your partner before, I want you to meet someone new. I'm going to shut up for a minute so you can have a think. And I think, no, actually, Oprah's is actually my favorite because she's really clever what she has done there. There's one thing I quickly want to show you. Ta-da. This, for example, this could be a 45-minute keynote or signature talk, and then your opening might be 3 minutes long, you know. But if this is only 10 minutes long, that structure, then your opening might only be 30 seconds, right? This should always, like the content bit, where you give people value, you tell them like the 3 secrets on how to get more Instagram followers, for example, right? That's here. So if this would be a 15-minute talk, this would be probably around 10 minutes long, right? Like the content bit, this is where you give value and, you know, that's the biggest bit. But you know, don't make your opening too long if you have only a little bit of time. Right, so let's get you up. Just get into pairs. If you all stand up, you find a partner, someone new, someone you haven't met before. I tell you. Guys, keep your hand up if you don't have a partner. If you don't have a partner here in the room, it's okay if you're single. That's totally cool, right? So hands up if you don't have a partner here in the room for that exercise. You're all partnered up. Perfect, right? Yes. So I want one of you to start. You're old enough. You can figure it out yourself, right? And I'm going to give you like 30 to 40 seconds. And then the other person will give you some feedback. And then you swap around. But give me some shout outs for the opening. What are we looking for?
Grabbing attention.
You want to grab attention. You want to pat and interrupt. You maybe want to connect. You want to show vulnerability. You want to activate them and take them into your story. What determines your beginning? Yeah. So it's really like what mood you set for the rest of your talk. Like so for example, when Elon Musk starts with his joke, right, that's his personality. He's not the best speaker in the world. You should have a look. Like what he says is amazing, but he's quite nervous. But that's his thing. He makes jokes every now and then, right? He doesn't do awkward jokes. Where Oprah, she's always more inspiring, you know, and her openings are always very powerful, but sometimes funny as well. So whatever it will be, I guess if you're a businessman, you know, it will be something statistical about business. Who knows? You know, just have a think. And I give you permission to maybe do something really shit just for the sake of testing it out here, right? Okay, so person number one, your time starts now, go. Okay, and time. Thank you, partner. 2 questions. You can still remain standing. Question number 1, was it useful to get feedback?
Yes. Yes.
Question number 2, how often do you actually do that before you deliver a talk?
What get feedback?
Yeah, not asking your mom, good. Trust you me, like you can get a really... Our moms normally always love it. Oh, you're so amazing. No? Wow, your mom's mean. But you can take like a really average talk someone maybe would pay you £100 for to be outstanding, you know, just with a little bit of feedback from the right people. We underestimate them. I promise you guys, when I started speaking in 2011, the first time I was hearing myself saying out something new was when I did it in the room. I never practiced and I never really, you know, worked on it properly, and I was shit. You're welcome. But I persevered and I'm still alive. And you know what? I think this is the exciting thing about speaking, right? It just never gets boring. I'm still not the best speaker in the world years later, and that's the beauty of it. You know, it keeps you on your feet and it keeps you hungry. Hands up if you think your opening is amazing, because I'd love to hear from 3 of you. One. Let's have, okay, 1, 2, 3. Actually, if you guys grab a seat and we have the 3 of you. Yeah, it's just the opening line. Do you want to go first? And then we have Olivia, and then we have, what's your name? Grammat. Wow, you make it difficult for me. I love it. I've never heard it.
2 syllables.
Grammat. Awesome.
Oh, can I have
Ask them.
from behind you?
Guys, we need to speed it up.
Okay.
Okay.
I lowered the baby's body into the ground at midnight in the woods.
I think you have to say, did you hear at the back? I didn't hear it.
I lowered the baby's body,
Wow.
coffin, into the ground in the woods at midnight.
Give him a hand. So whatever that is, I would want hands up if you would want to hear more. Don't just be nice. If you don't, that's fine. Cool? Good. Let's have Olivia.
How am I going to follow that one? You might think you all look pretty sophisticated, especially sitting in this nice members club. But you ain't nothing but a babble, baby. And I'm going to tell you why and how.
Ah.
A babble, baby.
Oh,
Yeah. Good job. Cool. Jump up.
Just a long walk.
It all started when I was 17. I was on a school trip in Belgium for English literature, and it was all going great until the end of the first night. I was hit by a car, and I wasn't hit just softly. I broke my leg, I broke my teeth. It was scary.
Wow. Good job. I still have my mouth open. It's like, wow. Did you see the difference? You know, the first one was about creating intrigue. It's like, oh my God, what's happening? Is this a horror story? Is this real? And then Olivia was very much like, you know, you're so smug. Well, let me tell you, you know, that was kind of cheeky. I liked it. And then there was grabbing again. You know, you took us there to France. Drinking red wine. You said France, right? Close. Wow. Nick's memory. So here's the next thing we do. I want you to work at this and honestly promise me, especially when you do your paid gigs, right? Put work in, especially when it comes to the opening. You know, if I ever see anyone I know starting with, you know, does the mic work? I think I'm going to run on stage and shake you. Okay, so the next little thing I want to do with you guys, I think I'm just going to get you up in a minute again, but when I ask you about the credibility bit of the structure, who knows what I'm talking about? Yes?
You've got to have a presence, and when I speak, I own the room.
Yes, that's part of it. Yeah?
I think for me it's like the content you deliver and why should they listen to you and why you're an expert or authority.
Yes. So the credibility is very much about framing, you know, building trust, but also saying, hey, this is what I have done. This is why I'm good at what I do. Say again?
Why should I listen to you?
Exactly. Why the hell should I listen to you? And there are different ways of doing it. And I fear what I see people, who has an example of their credibility? Cassie? This room, like the acoustics, I think everyone has to speak up here really a little bit. Share it? Thank you.
so winning awards.
No, but can you say it like in a sentence or two? Like, I'm Cassie Hicks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm Cassie Hicks and I run an multi-award winning digital marketing agency for the past 6+ years, helping thousands of small business owners to market themselves online.
Perfect, thank you. So this is what most people do, and it's good. And I want you to practice another option. I want you to practice a little storified option, you know, along the way of, so for example, last week I did a gig at the BBC. So I could say, you know, like, I'm Annik, Speak Express, and we have worked with the Bank of New York, the BBC. But instead of just listing it off, find a story. Kind of like you're just dropping it in. It's not about name dropping, but making it meaningful all at the same time, right? So when I worked with those guys at the BBC, it was their continuity department. They speak a lot already, you know. So for them, it wasn't about the confidence, but what they realized is as soon as you understand audience psychology a lot more, it makes you a better speaker, you know. And it really takes your ability to facilitate an audience to the next level. So I haven't listed things up, but I gave you an example what different techniques can do, like obviously speaking related. So I want you to have a think what it could be for you where you can storify it a little bit more. instead of just blurting it out, which is, like, I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to give you different options. I set you up, right? But this is not what I'm saying. I want to give me an example of what would you want to,
Mine's exactly the same.
say again?
Mine's exactly the same.
You run the same business?
No, as in like 100%.
Give me yours. So you run an award-winning business.
Multi-award winning.
What's one of the awards you won?
Small salon.
Small salon in,
For the whole of the UK, 2014, 16, and nominated 8, 17, 18
and where was the event?
in London.
So for example, just storify it in a way. I wouldn't know now what your content is about, but you can say, it's like, you know, the most crazy thing about my business is I don't only work with people on their beauty, you know, but we also get to do beautiful things, and people love us so much that we have won 3 awards, and it's crazy. And the last award I went to, you know, I got my nails painted in this and this color we have in the salon, you know, so you make it relevant to what you do. But I don't know what content you would present. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Jackie?
You want a story that gives credibility.
Yes.
That's not about we did this, 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 and this.
It's not the listing of it.
Yeah. Do you want me to give you one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So years ago, you probably won't remember this, Sainsbury's was stuck in a bit of a rut. They had John Cleese on television saying, buy at Sainsbury's, it's awfully good value, jolly cheap. And they had Tesco's coming up behind them. And they had the most wonderful new premium food range. So Sainsbury's thought, what are we going to do? So they got my agency in, and we developed Taste the Difference, which is now a $2 billion category.
See? Perfect example. Yes, give her a clap. So sometimes you don't have the time. You know, sometimes you only can say, like, you know, we have worked with the BBC, the Bank of New York, or, you know, like, you know, I'm award-winning, blah, blah. Sometimes you only have, like, 15 seconds to do your credibility. For a longer talk, you can bring a longer example in. I want you guys, I'll chat to you later, Andrew. I want you guys up. Like, find a partner. If you want, find the same person you worked with before, or find someone new, and I count you in. And for a minute, I just want you to do a credibility story each. Just, it might not even sound right this first time round. You might get inspired by hearing the other person, right? Just do it, and let's get up. And I count you in a second. Quick question. What did you learn from that? Saying it out loud, maybe screwing it up.
It's okay to screw up.
Yay, it's okay to screw up. What else?
I think you need a fact. You need something factual. You need some facts or something measurable.
Yeah, something measurable. Very good.
You know, I made lots of business successful, or you know, I got more customers. You know, it needs to have something that's measurable.
Yes.
It's related to go, wow, 10,000 customers. That's amazing.
Going deeper into the story. Beautiful. Anything else? Ah, these sofas are comfy, right? I'm so jealous. Now, hang on. Actually, I gave it away already. And just really quickly, like, the most important thing on the call to action bit, what I sometimes don't see people do, you really want to sell results. Let's say you do a 10-minute free talk, and then you want to funnel people into your, I don't know, consulting business, or they're booking a session with you, right? Really go into the results, like, how will their lives be better by using your products or your services? You know, will they have more time? Will they have more money? Just really being specific about that. You know, we have seen, like, in the last couple of years, like, we have seen results. There's one really good one, actually. Let me give you an example. So Elaine, one of the girls, after 3 months of doing the speaker training, she had a really big gig in America. And it must have been in front of 300 people. It was a 45-minute keynote. And after that one gig, she got 27 additional speaking invitations, you know. So if you want to use speaking to raise the visibility of your business, it's a good way. Right. As an example, right? That would be a result thing. But what I'd love you to do now is, with the person to your right or to your left, in the last half an hour, and then you can ask me a question, what did you just learn and what is an action step? Something you can implement tomorrow, Thursday, right? Go. Say thank you. And do me a favor. Can you shout out like one of the things you learned or you realized or you will be implementing?
Practicing how to structure story.
Story structure, yeah?
Even if you don't have like an actual fact or figure of your credibility, to build a story. You know, if you're a startup company,
Yeah.
you don't have sales figures, but you want to start getting that.
Yeah.
You need to build a little story around your credibility.
Building a story around your credibility, yeah. One more.
Having a better opening.
What was your original opening? Can you hear me at the back?
No.
I'm kidding, Han. So
I'd hope that you'd know me better.
no, I do, and I've heard you speak. So yeah, like
I don't even know what that opening was in that video.
find, you know, there's always room for improvement and to refine things. Now, you have been awesome for playing along. What I'm going to do, actually, give yourself a hand. Good work. And give Annik a clap. Thank you, including Abby. I can't believe my clap wasn't as loud as when you clap for yourself.